What's up, everyone? I'm back with another video of Life with Sid. Before we get started today, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know you want to. You keep coming back to watch, you might as well do it. So today I'm going to be filming myself do my candle pourings. In the last video you saw me doing an unboxing of everything that came in my kits. And I sat down and read the instructions today. You know, reading instructions is important. So I sat down and read this, and I realized that I'm only going to be able to make one candle at a time. I know it told you that, but like, you really only can make one at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and relocate to my kitchen so that I can melt this wax and get to pouring. Okay, so I've moved into my kitchen, and the first step on the instructions is to measure out 3.5 cups of wax. So I have my measuring cups. This is a full cup and this is a half cup. I have these from when I took an online biology class, and they were used for like sciencey things, so I never really got rid of them because you can repurpose things. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure these out, and I'm gonna pour it into my pitcher, and then we're gonna get to melting. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and measure out these 3.5 cups. So I'm taking my 1 cup and just going straight into my bag of wax. I'm gonna try to make sure I get it right at 1 cup. So that's 1. Two. Okay, now that I'm filling this up, I get why you can only make 1 at a time, because 2 cups by itself and the pitcher is almost halfway full. And once you melt it, the volume will rise. So that's 3 cups of wax. Get all these little chips out of here. And a half cup. So this is just for the first candle of the Peak kit, and I'm still gonna measure for the next one, even though this should be exactly the right amount of wax. Better safe than sorry. But now that we have it in the pouring pitcher and to melt it, I'm going to go ahead and put the thermometer in and start to melt.
So I didn't add a thermometer yet because they said that you want to go ahead and turn your wax on low. So I have my wax on. I have the plastic hanging off the side so it won't catch fire or get too hot and melty. And my stove temperature is set to low right now, as you can see. So I'm just going to let this sit for a minute. I'd rather go slow than too fast with the melting process because I've never done this at home. I've done it there and they just melt the wax for you. So I'm going to let this sit for a little bit and see how it goes, and then I'll be back.
Okay, so we're almost completely at liquid wax. The wax has started to melt so much that it's hard for me to stir it up anymore. So I've just kind of propped my thermometer up and I'm letting it melt some more until it gets completely liquid. And once it becomes completely liquid, step 3 says to turn the temperature up to medium heat. So I think I'm just gonna start out with putting it on 4. And if 4 isn't good enough, then I'm just gonna turn it up to 5. Here's a better view of what the wax is looking like right now. Again, keep your handle off the heat so that you don't burn yourself or it. But this is the in-between step 2 and 3 looking wax. So yeah, I'm gonna turn it up some more, and you're supposed to let it get heated up to a temperature of 180 degrees. As you can see, it is starting to melt a little bit more, but stirring has gotten way harder, and I'm not left-handed, so I'm gonna let it continue to get to that like clear light color that you see, not the white. We don't want the white. We want it to be kind of see-through. And let the temperature go up to 180 degrees as the instructions say. And once we get there, then I can take it off the burner, let it cool down, and add my fragrance. You can move the little clamp down so that it'll stay on the side of the thermometer, by the way. I didn't do that before I started, so I'm not really too worried about it because I'm standing here. But as you can see, we're making progress with the melting. Okay, so we hit 180 degrees not too long ago. I went ahead and turned the burner off because once you hit 180, you're supposed to just keep stirring, but you turn the burner off and move to a heat resistant surface, which I'm doing now. And after you do that, you add your fragrance and stir it, and then you let it cool down. So I'm gonna go back into my filming space and add the fragrance, let it cool down, and get my vessels together. Okay, so I'm back in my filming space right now. The temperature of the wax is at about 170. Sorry, 160, not 170. And we are on step 4, which is to add the fragrance. So I've decided to use the blue vessel first. And I'm gonna use the blue vessel with the fragrance Blue Coral Driftwood, because blue and blue just naturally fits. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this fragrance, and it says to stir for about 20 minutes. You use the entire bottle. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in now and stir.
So we're pouring in Blue Coral and Driftwood, the whole bottle as directed. I'm gonna get every little drop out, so you can really get that smell in there. I'm the annoying person that likes to tap. We're gonna get all of it out today, okay? So I poured it in, and it's gonna detach my thermometer. Now we stir 20 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. A little extras to be safe. So now the stirring is done, I'm going to prepare my blue vessel because I use the Blue Coral and Driftwood fragrance. And then we have to let it cool down to 145 degrees, and then we can go ahead and pour.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move my wax aside and all of my other things and get ready to prepare this vessel. And the fragrance actually is like super strong, which isn't a bad thing. Like when you put it into the wax, it's still really, really strong. So I know it's gonna be strong once you actually start burning the candle. But to prepare the vessel, I'm going to take my wick and my little sticky tab and put the sticky tab right in the middle of the wick, like so. And you get 2 of these because you have 2 wicks, 2 candles. And then there's a little tab here that you can pull off so that when you stick your wick down, it'll go right in the middle and stay. And they have a little tip on here if you don't get your wick, if your wick isn't straight, that you can use a fork to align it. I wouldn't probably use a fork I eat with. I think I would just use a plastic one, but it looks pretty darn straight to me. So this is what it looks like when you stick the wick down in the middle. And then from like a more upright angle, if you guys can see that, this is what it'll look like on the inside before the wax goes in. So I'm gonna let that sit. I think I'm gonna go ahead and prep this one as well with the wick, so that when I do come back after melting the next bit of wax, all I have to do is add in that fragrance and let it cool down, and then it'll just be ready to pour. So surprisingly, after adding the fragrance, mixing, and just sticking the wick into the vessel, the wax has actually cooled down more than I was supposed to let it. Right now we're at about 135 and they wanted you to get to 142. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour, and you're only supposed to pour enough to leave like a 1/2 inch gap at the top. I'm not going to measure 1/2 inch. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it so that there's enough space for the wick to be out and enough space at the top for the wax not to like melt and get all weird. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour.
And I am about to start pouring now. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop right there. Okay, so I feel like it's probably about 1/2 inch where I stopped at. The wick actually doesn't need to be cut much, if any, because I stopped it where I told me to. And I think
okay, so the candle has been poured. The next step after pouring is to dump this wax. While it's hot still, mine is starting to cool off a little bit, so I'm just gonna heat it back up. Dump it out, wipe your vessel. I mean, not your vessel, I'm sorry. Wipe your pitcher out, and then you can begin melting for the next one. Okay, so y'all, I measured out what was left of my wax because it really looked like it was enough for the amount. And they told you to measure out 3.5 cups. So I went to measure this time, and it only came out to 2.5 cups. I'm just like, how this candle gonna come out right for the second one when I don't have enough wax? So I'm hoping that when I melt it, it'll be fine because I did have a little bit extra the last candle that I poured. So we're gonna just do a whole bunch of hoping for the best. I'm about to turn the burner on and let it melt. And if it's not enough wax, I'm still gonna pour it and just, you know, I might have to go buy some more soy wax the next time I make candles. But yeah, we're gonna hope for the best.
Okay, so we're about to pour candle number 2, hoping for the best that there is enough wax. My thermometer last read 145, so I feel like I should be ready to pour in a few seconds. Now I just went ahead and move this vessel over so I won't have to move it at all later and worry about anything weird happening while it's cooling.
All right, so I'm about to start pouring. I feel like I'm about to run out of wax, y'all. Oh my God, it's so small. Wow. Compared to the other one, this one is so small. Well, at least next time I know. Okay, so these candles have to sit for 12 hours and then they will be good to go. I'm a little bit sad that this one is not as full, but at least I know next time to just go ahead and measure out both amounts of wax at the same time so I can try to make them more even. So I just wanted to thank you all for watching this video. If you made it this far, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can catch the next one.